warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To our honorable lecturers, Hasham, and to our fellow friends. So we from Group 7 consists of me, Nurul Akhtar binti Abdul Rahman, 01DAT21F1035, and Muhammad Arif Ahmad bin Abdul Aziz, 01DAT21F1056, and Aisyah Zwani binti Mazwan, 01DAT21F168, and last presenters, Nurin Shahira binti Azman, 01DAT21F1072. We are going to present our problem case. Next.
Okay, I will continue my part. First, for issue 1 is lack of transparency. The absence of a clear timeline for the overseas contract coupled with unidentified payments linked to government officials suggests a lack of transparency in the contracting process. This raises concerns about potential corruption and unethical business practices. Recommendation for the issue 1 is investigate further. Conduct a detailed investigation into the overseas contracts, unidentified payments, and purchase orders, aiming to determine the nature and extent of any irregularities or fraud. Move on to second issue is unidentified payments linked to government department. The large unidentified payments associated with individuals linked to overseas government departments suggest potential bribery or corruption issues. Recommendation for the second issue is engage legal counsel. Seek legal advice to understand the potential legal implications of the unidentified issues, especially regarding the undisclosed payments to government officials. For the third issue is lack of proper authorization in payables process. The finance director's instruction to raise purchase orders without cross-referencing them to an approved supplier list raises concerns about proper authorization and compliance with internal controls. For the last is recommendation is enhance internal controls. Work with the subsidiary companies management to strengthen internal controls, particularly in the areas of contract documentation, payables authorization, and environmental compliance.
Moving on to the fourth issue, which is the repeated breach of environmental regulations. The director's failure to take appropriate steps to prevent repeated breaches of environmental laws and regulations demonstrates a lack of commitment to corporate responsibility. The recommendation for this issue is to consider external reporting. Depending on the severity of the issues and legal requirements, consider reporting to relevant regulatory authorities or law enforcement agencies. Next, issue number 5, which is the lack of past disclosure. The fact that these issues were not identified in the past 3 years of audit raises concerns about the effectiveness of previous audit procedures and the company's commitment to ethical business practices. Recommendation for this issue is to evaluate continuation of the audit engagement, consider the implications of the identified issues on the continuation of the audit engagement with the subsidiary company. This may involve discussing with higher management and considering potential withdrawal from the engagement. For the last issue is attempt to mislead auditors. The finance directors attempt to hide the environmental penalties from the auditors by posting them to the post of sales is a serious breach of professional ethics and a clear attempt to mislead the auditors. Recommendation for this issue is to provide ethical guidance, offer guidance to the finance director and other relevant parties for the ethical responsibilities and professional standards expected in financial reporting and auditing.
Okay, we're moving on to the second case. The second question, with the question given in line with SCCS Code of Ethics and Conduct, we have to clarify and explain the factors that we must consider before we accept the internal audit engagement. So for the first factor, which is integrity and objectivity. So integrity, as we all know, we as an auditor, we have to maintain our work with honesty and professional ethics and behavior. So from the case given, the audit engagement partner for Muterago has given a title or as a job to her son as a sales manager, and this could lead to a self-interest threat, as it because if the auditor holds a direct or indirect financial interest to the company, or it would lead to an own personal interest. For example, if a member of the audit firm hold a shares to its own company, and if they discover any irregularity in the financial statement, they could believe if such disclosures would result to a great fall in its share and could be worse, affect her net worth, and they could refrain from making such disclosures. And for the second factors, which is confidentiality. Confidentiality, we all know with confidentiality is that we wish to not disclose our clients' information. Confidential information includes social security numbers, bank account numbers, debit and credit card numbers, and medical records. These are considered as sensitive information, as in some projects, we may review the information that is not specifically protected by privacy laws, but is proprietary or sensitive. We as auditors, we should handle these items in the same manner as confidential information. And for the last factor, scopes and objective. Scope audit, this is necessary and important tool as we ensure that all areas of organization are thoroughly and accurately audited. Some of the effects or advantages of audit scope it helps to ensure that all areas or organizations are properly examined and evaluated, and it helps to ensure that all relevant documents and records are reviewed. Some of the examples of audit scope might be assessing risk, controlling, compliance, performance, and governance. And that's all from me. And next to the presenter.
Thank you to Ms. Akhtar. And now I'm going to go thoroughly on factors that must be considered before the internal audit engagement should be accepted. The fourth one is conflicts of interest. It evaluates whether there are any conflicts of interest, such as the proposal to base fees on the company's profit after tax. This also may create a financial self-interest threat and should be carefully examined for its impact on objectivity and independence. And after that, I'm going to go to communication and resolution. It establishes effective communication and resolution for these procedures for any ethical dilemmas or conflicts that may arise during the internal audit engagement. This is essential for addressing issues promptly and ethically. And then after that, I'm going to go to legal and regulatory requirements. It ensures that the internal audit engagement complies with all relevant legal and regulatory requirements. This includes ensuring that the firm's dual role as internal and external auditor does not violate any legal or regulatory restrictions. To summarize all of the points in a short form, all of these factors must be truly assessed and mitigated before accepting the internal audit engagement to ensure that the audit firm can maintain its independence, objectivity, and ethical standards while delivering effective internal audit service to Mutiara Co. And I think that's all from us. Thank you.